Welcome back to another episode of Rock Boys Football. The Oklahoma Sooners getting some traction on the 2024 high school recruiting trail, landing four-star edge rusher Wyatt Gilmore from the state of Minnesota. And this is a cat that kind of depending on where you get your recruiting rankings, there's a little bit of a variance in terms of his player evaluation. But I will say, when it comes to how the Power 5 teams evaluated him, I think a lot of these programs liked him. And he had offers from Oregon, Miami, Oklahoma. He ends up committing to Oklahoma, but 24/7 Sports has him as the 20th best edge rusher in the class. I also want to take this time to talk about Xavier Robinson, the running back from Oklahoma who committed last night. Didn't get a chance to record my thoughts. I dug into him. He's an absolute freak. So we're talking two prospects tonight. We're going to take a look at what this 2024 class could look like and to give you guys some updates on what I've been reading about some of these top prospects. Now, before we do, again, just want to say thank you to you guys and shout out the Oklahoma fans. Anytime I get a chance to talk some Sooners football, I'm always doing it. You guys are passionate and also extremely knowledgeable. I live for this because I don't get to do this in real life, right? Talk about recruiting. You guys have been absolutely awesome in the comment section, showing support to the boys. So if you do enjoy the content, you like talking recruiting, you like breaking down the prospects, consider subscribing to the channel and then get active in the comment section. Again, I love talking to y'all in the comment section, and the support you guys have shown truly does mean a lot. Without further ado, let's get into Wyatt Gilmore first, and we'll move to Xavier Robinson, who's kind of my guy. I'm going to warn you guys. Wyatt Gilmore, 6'4", 240 pounds, and getting into the film, I think it's a really nice blend of power in his hands, but he also has some burst and bend to kind of win around tackles too. What you're going to see is a really refined pass rusher. I mean, this guy, on the junior year film, he knows how to use his hands. But he's a guy that excels getting his hands on tackles, using that power. And that's the end of the MO of what Brent Venables likes from that edge position. You go back to his time at Clemson. He likes those guys who are heavier handed, who can get stack and shut at the line of scrimmage, be good setting the edge in the run game. That's kind of what Wyatt Gilmore excels at. Now, they did bring in PJ Adebawore in the 2023 class, who, just a special athlete in terms of bend and burst around the line of scrimmage. So you're seeing a nice balance of kind of different type of edge rushers. I go back to Rondo Bothroyd, the defensive end they took in the transfer portal. Very similar game to Wyatt Gilmore, right? Heavy hands. I'm not necessarily the burstiest guy, but I'm going to be a pocket collapser and take tackles right into the lap of the quarterback. That's kind of what I see in Wyatt Gilmore. I want to show you guys or just get into the film a little bit of what Wyatt Gilmore brings. And I wanted to leave this up, though, because you see kind of the explosiveness. 4.7 40, 35-inch vertical. Like, this dude can get off the line of scrimmage. A 350-pound bench. That's for a junior in high school. That's absolutely insane. Let's get into Wyatt Gilmore's film, though, because you're going to see, he knows how to use his hands at an impressive level. And that's kind of what I like most about his game, right? Working at the edge, knows how to use his hands, hits the tackle with the nastiest swim move, strip sack. He's a playmaker. Again, he can use the bend and burst, but he also can just use his hands. You see another swim move using some bend and burst to beat tackles on the outside. It's a special blend. I really do think this is a very nice get for the Sooners. You see a little athleticism, him working at the tight end spot too. Again, he's got good feet. He's got some good speed. He's going to make some people miss here. This big dog, he can be an athlete in space if you need him to. But again, he's going to play defensive end, and you're going to see him just be an absolute – and you see a little motor here too, which I want to say. That's not always something you see from the high school kids is playing hard through the whistle when you're a top-notch kind of guy. What I mean, right? Stacking a tackle, keeping the edge, and then going and making play on the football. That's kind of what you're getting in Wyatt Gilmore. And he's a guy that, might not be the flashiest commitment that Oklahoma is going to get, but he's a guy that's going to play good football. And when it comes to playing your 111, playing your role, I think Wyatt Gilmore certainly going to be able to do that. Now let's get into Xavier Robinson, who is just absolutely my guy when it comes to, I'm just going to trust DeMarco Murray on this. DeMarco Murray's been a guy that I'm not necessarily going to go with what 24/7 Sports or On3 has to say about these guys. DeMarco Murray's in it with Taylor Tatum, Caden Durham. There's a reason why he offered Xavier Robinson, and there's a reason why he pursued Xavier Robinson, because this dude is special. Just to give you guys a feel, and I was tweeting about this last night, 2,594 yards on the ground as a junior in high school, 39 touchdowns. He averaged 9.4 yards per carry. This is a guy 6'2", 220. He's a bowling ball, like thick lower half, extremely hard to bring down, but also has some track background as well. And you're going to see a nice blend of size, a guy that can get downhill, one cut, get downhill, but you're also going to see some breakaway speed and some nice feet. This is, in my opinion, just kind of a gem find for DeMarco Murray. And again, DeMarco Murray, hell of a lot smarter than I am. I'm going to trust DeMarco Murray's evaluation on a guy like Xavier Robinson. And again, does it come at the expense of a Caden Durham or Taylor Tatum? I don't think so. I mean, I think you still have definitely a big shot at one of those two guys. But, man, I really do think they found a gem in Xavier Robinson. Just put someone in the dirt here, but he's big, physical dude that wants to get downhill, but also has a nice blend of footwork. I mean, one cut, gets downhill, and then the burners. Like, this dude is 6'2", 220, and he's absolutely cruising, outrunning defensive backs. There is so much to like about what Xavier Robinson brings to the table, and I see it. Even from a pure production standpoint, nice feet going through the hole. He's very hard to bring down, and again, the breakaway speed, he certainly has it. Massive, massive fan of Xavier Robinson. I really do think that this guy is an absolute steal for DeMarco Murray and the Sooners. I didn't see this one. Are we getting a little kick return action out of Xavier Robinson too? Let's see him go to work here. I didn't see this one on the film. Go. That's what I mean. He's a bowling ball. You can't bring this guy down. I can absolutely see why DeMarco Murray wants a guy like Xavier Robinson. Now let's take a look at this 2024 class. And again, we've been talking, whenever we talk Oklahoma recruiting, it's like, don't panic yet, right? It's a little bit of a slow start. You get your 10th commitment in the ship with Wyatt Gilmore, but they got so many names that they're in the running for that this class, when you talk about what this class looks like in December, quite frankly, it doesn't matter what this class looks like in July or June. It matters what it looks like in December. And I think this Sooners class will be just fine when we're talking about these guys signing their papers in December. Who they got in, Zion Kearney, big fan of him out of Texas. That's a really, really good get. And I also, you guys have heard my thoughts on Michael Hawkins. Very, very high on that quarterback. When he comes in after Kevin Sperry commits, he comes in right on the heels of Jackson Arnold. This dude is not afraid to battle it out for that quarterback one spot. More importantly, though, I do want to just talk about what this class could look like. And it starts with, if this Oklahoma team's as good as we think it is, and if you guys haven't, we kind of took a deep dive into the Sooners team. This is a team that, 10, 11, 12-win season is, if they play what they're supposed to, like, that's what this team should be. That's how talented they are. I think year 2 under BV, I think you're certainly going to see some growth. You're talking about, I think, a really strong finish to the Sooners. And it might not be the most exciting summer, although they are in the running for some top-notch guys who will be committing in July. But when it comes to November and December, when it's time to sign your papers, and this Oklahoma team's sitting at, 11-1, 12-0, a college football playoff contender, that's when I see some fireworks happening for the Sooners, because these top guys, they want to go play for Oklahoma, but they also want to make sure they're going to a program that's going into the SEC, that's going to be contending for championships, which I have no doubt the Sooners will be doing. I just think Brent Venables needs to show that this is where that program is going. So the most exciting part about this class might be in November, December, when the Sooners are putting it together on the field and then getting some of those top guys. But what I've been hearing, Taylor Tatum, that's been an interesting development, right? Was a Michigan lean for a long time. He takes his official visit to USC, and it seems like USC has all the momentum. Well, now it's DeMarco Murray, again, one of those key recruiters for Oklahoma, doing a phenomenal job with Taylor Tatum. It sounds like he could be the next Sooner commit. Like David Stone, it's really hard to see David Stone not ending up in this Sooners class. And quite frankly, I think a lot of Sooners fans would be pissed, including myself, if David Stone does not end up in this class. Not at him, just like that's one of those guys that you got to land. Not at the player. I'd like to be clear on that. But going down the list, Nigel Smith's another guy that trending Oklahoma's way, a top 100 ranked defensive lineman, very similar to the guy Wyatt Gilmore we were just talking about. Very, very physical, heavy hands. And then Caden Durham, the absolute track star. This guy runs like a 10 300-meter dash time, 5'9", 180, but he has a thick lower half. He'd be a nice, Caden Durham and Xavier Robinson would be a nice running back duo to come in together with. But you see, like, this class could be very good. I think Bennett Warren he's leaning Michigan, but it sounds like Michigan's filled up their offensive line class, so he's probably got to pivot somewhere else. I see a realistic world where you're talking about Oklahoma, and when it gets to December, Williams Nwaneri, David Stone, one of the two between Taylor Tatum and Caden Durham, and Nigel Smith. And you're talking about a top 10, potentially top 8 class for the Oklahoma Sooners. So, yes, it's a little bit of a slow start, but I really do think it will heat up for the Sooners. And again, they're in it for so many talented guys. I wonder if they can turn up the heat on Grant Briggs. He's from Iowa, considering Kansas State and Nebraska. Coach Biedenbaugh, like I feel like if they wanted to turn the heat up on him, I think they'd have a good shot. But very exciting times for Sooners fans. Again, year 2 under BV, I think you see much better play on the field, and that might show when we're talking about finishing this recruiting class in 2024. Again, Sooner fans, appreciate you guys checking out the boys. If you do enjoy the content, consider subscribing to the channel. We appreciate you guys, and we'll talk to y'all later. Peace.